5 years. That's how long my best friend and I built a company from nothing. Sleepless nights, empty bank accounts, promises that we'd never screw each other over. Then one Tuesday afternoon, I found a document with my signature on it, a signature I never wrote. This story was shared on Reddit, and before we go further, every name, location, and identifying detail has been changed to protect the people involved. I came across this post late one night, scrolling through a subreddit about workplace betrayal. The moment I finished reading it, I knew I had to share it. So, let's call the guy in this story Ryan, and his business partner, Marcus. Ryan and Marcus met in college. Both broke, both ambitious, both convinced they could build something real. 5 years ago, they started a small marketing agency out of Marcus's apartment. Just the two of them, a laptop, and way too much coffee. Every single client relationship they built together, side by side. By year 3, they weren't broke anymore. 12 employees, real clients, a real office. People called them the perfect business partnership, the kind of story you'd read in a magazine. Ryan trusted Marcus with everything. His finances, his future, decisions that could make or break his entire career. It started small. Marcus began handling more of the paperwork, saying it would free up Ryan's time for clients. Ryan didn't think twice. Why would he? Marcus was his best friend. But looking back now, that was exactly the moment everything started slipping out of his hands, without him ever realizing it. That Tuesday, Ryan was searching the shared drive for an old contract. Instead, he found a shareholder agreement he had never seen before. His signature was on the last page. Except, he never signed it. He sat there, staring at his own name, written in handwriting that wasn't his. Ryan's first thought wasn't betrayal. It was confusion. Maybe it was an old draft. Maybe it was a mistake from their lawyer. He wanted so badly to find an innocent explanation, because the alternative meant admitting something he wasn't ready to face. He opened the file properties, created 3 months ago, last edited by Marcus's account 4 separate times. This wasn't an old draft. Someone had been working on this document quietly for months, without ever mentioning it to him. He read through it, line by line. His 50% was quietly reduced to 30. Marcus's share went up. The document even added a clause giving him final say on all major financial decisions without needing Ryan's approval anymore. His hands were shaking. 5 years of trust, and it came down to a document he wasn't supposed to find. He wanted to call Marcus immediately. Scream, demand answers. But something told him to stop. If he confronted him right now, with nothing but a suspicion, Marcus would have time to cover his tracks. So Ryan closed the laptop. He didn't say a word. Not to Marcus, not to anyone at the office. That night, he made a decision that would define the next 4 months of his life. He wasn't going to confront Marcus with suspicion. He was going to confront him with proof he couldn't argue with. The next morning, Ryan walked into the office like nothing had happened. He smiled at Marcus. He joked around like always. But underneath, he was watching everything now. Every phone call Marcus took in private, every time he closed his laptop a little too fast when Ryan walked by. Over the next 2 weeks, Ryan started noticing things he'd ignored for years. Marcus taking client calls behind closed doors. Marcus forgetting to loop him in on emails he used to be copied on. Small things. The kind of things you only notice once you're actually looking for them. Then one of their biggest clients mentioned something in passing. She said Marcus had told her Ryan was, quote, stepping back from major decisions. Ryan had never said that. He'd never even discussed it. Someone was already rewriting the story before Ryan even knew there was one to rewrite. Ryan couldn't go to the police with a suspicion. He needed someone who understood contracts. Someone who could tell him if what he'd found was actually illegal, or if he was overreacting. So, quietly, without telling a single person at the office, he reached out to a friend from college who now practiced business law. His friend read the document over a video call and went quiet for a moment. Then she said the words that made everything real. Ryan, this isn't a mistake. Someone drafted this carefully, and someone forged your signature on purpose. This is fraud. His lawyer gave him one piece of advice. Don't confront him yet. document everything first. So, for the next few weeks, Ryan quietly saved every email, every file version, every timestamp he could find. He backed up conversations. He kept records of every client call Marcus made without him. He was building a case, one piece at a time. Then Ryan found something even worse. Going through the company's financial statements, he noticed transfers he didn't recognize. Small amounts at first, moved to an account he'd never seen. Over 4 months, Marcus had quietly moved almost $30,000 out of the business, labelled as consulting fees that never existed. By the 4th month, Ryan had everything. The forged signature, the altered ownership document, the fake consulting fees, screenshots, timestamps, bank records, even a recorded conversation where Marcus casually lied to a client about Ryan's role in the company. It wasn't a suspicion anymore. It was a case. Ryan's lawyer suggested handling it quietly, in private, with lawyers on both sides. But Ryan had a different idea. Marcus had spent months lying to their biggest clients behind his back. So Ryan decided the truth would come out in front of the same people Marcus had lied to. 3 weeks later, their biggest client scheduled a quarterly review meeting. The same client Marcus had lied to about Ryan stepping back. The whole leadership team would be there. Marcus had no idea Ryan had been preparing for this exact moment for over a month. Marcus opened the meeting the way he always did, confident, charming, in control. He started walking the client through the quarter's results. Ryan sat quietly, letting him finish. He wanted Marcus to feel completely comfortable, right up until the moment that comfort disappeared. When Marcus finished, Ryan calmly asked if he could add something. He opened his laptop, connected it to the screen, and pulled up the shareholder document. "I just have one question for the room," he said. "Can someone explain why my signature is on a document I never signed?" The room went completely silent. Marcus's face changed instantly. He tried to laugh it off, calling it a misunderstanding. But Ryan had already pulled up the file metadata, the timestamps, and the recorded call where Marcus told this exact client that Ryan was stepping back. There was nothing left to explain away. The client looked at Marcus, then back at the screen, then at Ryan. She didn't say a word to Marcus. Instead, she turned to her own team and said, "We need to pause this contract until this is resolved." Just like that, the biggest account in the company was on hold, and it was entirely Marcus's doing. Marcus tried one last time to spin it. He said Ryan was overreacting, that this was all a temporary restructuring plan he was going to explain eventually. But nobody in that room was buying it anymore. Ryan just looked at him and said, "You had 5 years to explain it to me. You chose 4 months of silence instead." Within a week, Ryan's lawyer filed a formal complaint: forgery, breach of fiduciary duty, misappropriation of company funds. Marcus tried to negotiate a quiet settlement, but by then, 2 other clients had already heard what happened and started asking questions of their own. The company's reputation, the one thing Marcus always cared about more than anything, was slipping away in real time. 2 months later, Marcus signed papers giving up his shares entirely, in exchange for Ryan agreeing not to pursue criminal charges. It wasn't the outcome Ryan originally wanted, but it meant Marcus walked away with nothing. No ownership, no company, and a reputation that would follow him to whatever he tried to build next. Ryan still runs the company today, just under a new name, with a new partner, someone he actually vets properly this time. He says the hardest part wasn't finding out Marcus betrayed him. It was realizing how long it took him to notice, because he trusted too completely for too long without ever checking. So, would you have handled it the same way? Some people think Ryan should have confronted Marcus the moment he found that document. Others think 4 months of quiet preparation was exactly the right move. Either way, Marcus learned a very expensive lesson about underestimating the person he thought he knew best. Let me know in the comments, would you have waited 4 months like Ryan did, or confronted him immediately? I read every single one of your comments, and honestly, some of your own stories are even crazier than this one. If you want more stories like this, hit subscribe now, because trust me, the next one might top even this.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end.
That genuinely means a lot. Stay sharp, stay patient, and I'll see you in the next one.